let's talk about 80s. Or do we have a monitor? Are we live? Oh, okay. Sorry, we didn't have a monitor, so I didn't know we were actually live.
Yep.
All right.
We usually have a thing, and that tells us the thing.
That proves how robotic I am now. It's like, no monitor, must not be live. Nobody can see us. Hello, everybody. This is Between the Streams. This is our weekly podcast here about movies and entertainment. Thank you so much for joining us. We have lots to talk about today because we have...
And yes, we are only wearing gray from now on, by the way.
Oh, yeah. If you're watching live, okay, so we are live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope right now, in addition to being a podcast. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on the podcasts. We are wearing apparently matching clothes today. Ryan and I coordinate all of our outfits every day if you watch.
Sometimes we match. Sometimes we purposely don't match.
It's all on purpose. It's all very formulaic, and we figure this out beforehand. However, we are wearing similar clothes. But we have lots of things to talk about today. We've got some great casting news as far as some new comic book movies, some ones that I didn't think would ever... One I never thought would actually come back, but now it is. We've got some interesting speculation on some. We've got some great new trailers that we want to talk about. But I think right off the bat, we need to talk about what I think is pretty big news this week. Top Gun 2 in production right now. I'm Greg Nibbler.
Talk to me, Goose.
That's Ryan Wadida.
Maverick.
And we now know that Top Gun is in production. And we know this because Tom Cruise posted a picture of being apparently on the set or himself in front of a jet, which sparked a whole Navy Air Force Twitter battle. I don't know if you saw about that.
I did not see that.
It's an F-18, and the Air Force was mad that it wasn't an F-35.
Because they love the new F-35 that they spent $6 gazillion on.
Exactly. It's one of those kinds of details. So they're a little upset about it, but so they had a whole back and forth on Twitter. But it's kind of, with my question, though, about this, talking about Top Gun, is also what other 80s movies needs a sequel, because it feels like everything from the 80s and the early 90s is coming back.
Yep.
And we're going to give you some more details on the Top Gun side of it. But what 80s movie do you think needs to be remade? Or not remade, but a sequel, rather.
Yeah, the first one that comes to mind is the one we were just talking about, Willow. And we've already heard some rumblings of that. I think that is one of the few major properties that strikes nostalgia in my heart that's not Top Gun, which has not already had a sequel and or a reboot. I mean, there's not much left anymore that hasn't had a sequel or a reboot.
Right.
So that was the first one that came to mind. I'm sure if I dug deeper, I could come up. How about Rad? Remember that?
Oh, Rad, yes.
I don't know where that came from.
BMXing still a thing?
Can BMX be a thing? And
okay, I like Rad.
Remember when they had to do that backflip on the little spoon in the Kicks Bowl?
Rad was awesome. Everybody wanted to be like Rad at
I feel like I just had an acid flashback because I forgot that Rad was a thing, and now I'm really reliving it.
You're really living it right now in your mind.
Yep.
Taking a look at the comments here, just talking about Top Gun 2, and I've got a few that I think could get some sequels that I think would
like
work.
Rad. They could X game it up.
They could absolutely. Yeah, you could definitely do a Rad. Keelan says, "Wait, they didn't even get new pilots. Look, I was already yawning at a Top Gun 2, but a damn Top Gun 2 with Tom Cruise.
Top Gun 2 post the colon is post cataract surgery.
Yeah. So Top Gun 2. What we believe and what's kind of been released as far as what the plot's going to be, it'll be Navy pilots, of course, Maverick, back. And reportedly the story is going to deal with the rise of unmanned drones in the military. And I'm assuming Tom Cruise is going to be the old guard, like, we don't need these drones. We need an actual person in there flying these things.
Yeah, either that.
Who's going to be in control when things go wrong?
Either that or they have a drone thing going and he's leading it, and then they're like, we got to send you in, man.
Yes.
We need you.
You know that's it. Something goes wrong with the drones.
We're going to have to send in Maverick.
No, it's a bunch of hotshot, like, video game guys that are...
and they don't buy it.
Like, get out of here, old man.
You don't know.
Yeah. They're flying their drones in a bunch of flips and circles, and then it all goes wrong.
Something goes bad.
We got to get Maverick back. We're going to
have to send in Maverick. Yes. And the kid from Iron Eagle.
But we just wrote Top Gun 2.
I like it. I like it. But can we get the kid from Iron Eagle in there and then cross-pollinate that whole thing?
You want to create a Top Gun universe.
Top Gun
might be
Iron?
Too much.
Iron
It might be too much. But anyway, from what we know, it is going to have to deal with unmanned drones. Top Gun 2. Tom Cruise is back. There's Val Kilmer has definitely said he would like to be back.
But he's got to drop the weight.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know how they're going to use him. But I mean, you do kind of have to have...
For Willow, I would think he would have to, get into some Mad Morgan shape, as we were talking about.
Probably.
Unless he's just going to be washed up Mad Mortigan type situation, but like one last ride.
That could be the situation too. But I think you would have to have Iceman back.
I would like to have Iceman. I would like to see the whole crew. I mean, what are those dudes doing? The guy with the big mirror shades, he could come back. I've seen him here and there.
Mirror shades guy.
Strider, you stink, you still stink. All that. Let's get it all back in there.
Kelly, what's her name? Bring her back. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to bring the whole crew back,
okay,
you kind of have to.
That's true.
But again, one of our top question here before we move on to the other subjects for today is, what other 80s movie needs a sequel? Thank you, Kelly McGillis. There it is. Alex says Back to the Future 4. Yeah. What do you think? No?
Well, I think Tom, sorry, not Tom. I think
Michael J.
Fox, Alex P. Keaton, I was going to say next. I think Fox is actually not able to do, what he would need to do to do that role, unfortunately. His medical situation is not great at this point.
Right.
So I don't think they could do that unless they reboot the series.
Reboot it or do a spin-off.
Or his kid comes back or something like that.
Yeah, one of his kids.
I could see that.
Then goes, through time.
But I don't want to see that.
A crazy old man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It would sell well if they did it. But I'm not sure if that's something I would want to see either.
Yeah.
Taking a look here, Cookie Dough just said they will donate $1,000 to us if I read their name. So send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com.
Send us a check.
We'll take that $1,000
Podcast@digitaltrends.
Let's see. Sundown equals Shades Guy. Oh, that was Sundown. Was that
Sundown.
Shades Guy's name?
Nice.
Okay,
that's a good one. Yes,
that's pretty solid nickname.
We don't need Cougar up there. He's just going to buckle under the pressure.
Right, exactly. So, you can't have that.
He was number one. Now you're number one. I got to give you your shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see an Oscar performance right here,
I've seen Top Gun a lot.
Cast Ryan Juanita.
Pretty much watched that every day for a while when I was a kid until Days of Thunder came out, and then I watched that every day for a couple of years. So.
All right.
Oh, Days of Thunder. How about that? NASCAR's so hot right now. I know, but still. I think you said 80s or 90s.
Well, we'll go to the
Maybe not.
All right. Before we get down some Days of Thunder quotes, taking a look here again in the chat. Brian says Last Starfighter 2. I believe they actually are working on a reboot of Last Starfighter.
Not a sequel, unfortunately.
And John says, I've been screaming for an all-out Cannonball Run 2.
Oh, God. There is a Cannonball Run 2, and I think a 3.
Right, but maybe like another one.
A Cannonball Run 4?
Yeah, with old Burt Reynolds behind.
And he's like...
They're racing rascals
crashing his truck into like...
Yeah, that could maybe work. And also, Keelan says, I don't know if I like Ryan liking things, because usually you don't like anything. So.
I like plenty of things. I just hate on some stuff because it sucks. And that's how it all has to happen.
All right, Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, that could be...
I just watched that. It's not as good as you remember, but it is fun.
There's the hate.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the whole story setup is that a comet makes magical dust so that robots come to life.
Yeah.
That's a tough one to quantify scientifically anyway.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see.
I mean, just some kind of story where machines come to life would be awesome, because it's just carnage and machines killing everybody, and that's fun.
Yeah, that is always fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I still say E.T. 2 is the one that we need.
Why not?
But that's where we need to go with it. A very dark E.T. prequel.
That's a terrible idea.
Like, E.T. was just horrible the whole time. You're like rooting for him, but really he's an awful, like, he escaped. And so the other ETs are trying to find him. And that's what it is.
But why would he be trying to get home then?
Yeah, I got to work that one out.
Big hole in the script.
You got to see the movie to find out that part.
You're blowing it. That pitch out.
All right. We've got lots to get to, though. We do have some more comic book stuff, and I want to circle back around to this comic because I want to really see what people think Uncle Buck to. Well, you'd have to do some different casting on that one.
Yeah.
Uncle Buck. But lots of stuff to get to with that. Let's briefly talk about here the weekend box office. Obviously, we don't have a blockbuster. We've got a couple of movies based on actual events. The big one, I guess, for this weekend is Adrift with Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin. It's the story of, this actually happened in 1983, and it's a couple who went sailing from Tahiti to San Diego, where they were going to drop off a ship, and then they ran into a hurricane, and they got lost. It looks horrible, and to me, I mean, the movie looks fine, but that whole concept to me is
situation,
way too stressful. I don't like being lost at sea movies.
I read a recent article that they did about this 2015 crew that went down in a hurricane. That is like the scariest thing I've ever read.
Yeah, no thanks.
It's insane.
Yeah. No thanks.
So that movie could be pretty interesting.
No, I don't like it. Like open water.
How about the one, where they just sit there in the water and the sharks come and...
No.
Not to give it away, but it's not good.
That does not work for me.
I'll tell you the movie I am most interested in this weekend, aside from Solo, which we'll talk about in a second if you haven't seen Solo yet. But American Animals looks really fun. I love Evan Peters, and I think it looks really interesting. It's basically about these dudes who are going to steal $12 million worth of books, but it just looks really stylish the way they put it together, and it's a true story. So it should be
based on a true story. These guys actually did try to pull off this heist, and I'm kind of excited to watch that one. It might be a Netflix movie for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go to the theaters.
Yeah, because if you're going to go to the theater, you go there to see Solo.
And I'm also not stoked that Blake Jenner is in it, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, that's a little knock against it too.
Maybe he'll be all right.
That's true.
I should give him a chance.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, that's what we got for the weekend box office. Obviously, not a lot going on with that.
But yeah, quickly, I just wanted to talk about Solo.
Ryan just saw Solo.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit behind everybody. But I'm not the only one who didn't see it last weekend. I think a lot of people may have gone on a trip, or they decided to see Avengers, or they decided to see Deadpool 2.
Right.
But make a trip for Solo. I know it's not doing that great. I know it's it is the lowest reviewed new Star Wars movie yet. But I had a blast at this movie. It was fun from start to finish. I know people are calling it safe. I didn't find it even as safe as some people have been calling it. I think it has a rustic feel. It feels a little bit like New Hope in that way, some of the camera work and some of the ways. I think probably because they had to reshoot it so quickly and put it together so quickly that it's got a little bit of grit to it. But I also I thought the characters were pretty good. I thought it was a fun story and a lot of cool action happening. So if you haven't seen Solo yet and you're kind of, milquetoast on it, I highly recommend it. I had a blast at that movie.
All right. Yep. Ryan likes something.
Yeah, I like Solo.
He likes it. He really likes it.
He really likes it, you guys. Mikey likes it.
Yeah, I agree. It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
It was a really fun movie. And we can come back and talk about...
And the alien stuff really did... it gets really weird with the aliens and the creature stuff. I felt a little bit like New Hope to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, yeah, it was a fun movie, and you can definitely go check that out at the box office. We did get something else as far as a remake that is in the works, and it has to do with Spawn. Spawn, I feel like a lot of people didn't know Spawn.
If you were in the 90s, you absolutely knew Spawn.
Yeah.
It says 90s, as I said in the post, is like Will Smith and parachute pants. Like, Spawn is like quintessential 90s must-see TV, but yeah, it kind of died quickly. I mean, the comics were really popular, and maybe they still are. But
I don't know.
I know the movie was not very well received, but everybody saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah. And Spawn, in case you don't know, is a comic book series. Todd McFarlane's the creator, and it's basically about a black ops guy or special ops guy who makes a deal with the devil because he's betrayed by a fellow agent, makes a deal with the devil. He comes back, but he's not who he thought he was. Now he's this hideous demon monster guy.
Yeah.
And there you go. And he's Spawn. That is his name. And so that movie is going to be apparently dark and R-rated, according to McFarlane. And the big casting news is Jamie Foxx is going to be playing Spawn, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
I think it could work. I mean, I haven't seen him in something dark really yet, but I mean, he's a good actor. I believe he can do it. I really liked what McFarlane said. I know people are worried about him in his directorial debut. Uh-huh. He wrote the script, but he said, the scariest movies from Jaws to John Carpenter's The Thing or The Grudge and The Ring, the boogeyman doesn't talk. It confuses people because the comic book industry and because they all default into their Captain America mindset. And I kept saying, no, get into John Carpenter's mindset or Alfred Hitchcock. So that's the way he's going about it. I think Spawn may even be silent.
Wow.
So I don't know how they're going to do it, but it sounds like it's going to be dark and evil. And it's going to be violent, I hope. I think it's going to be an R movie. And
it's going to be violent.
It could be. I think one of the biggest problems with the first Spawn is they didn't make it R. Yeah. And I remember people really whining about that at the time. It had some other problems too.
Right.
Leguizamo does a pretty comical villain in that. But I think if they make it really dark, Venom style, kind of the new way they're going.
And that seems to be where they're going.
Universe. Yeah.
Yeah, dark and R-rated.
I think it could be sweet.
Yeah, and definitely more horror than anything else. That's
what Spawn's
cool.
all about. Yeah.
Spawn, so, obviously we don't have a release date or anything, but it is official. Jamie Foxx will be playing Spawn.
And let's just say this, even if it fails spectacularly, it will be really cool to see the creator of something put everything into it to make it the way he wanted to make the movie. And just see
true.
What's on the screen.
That's true.
You just don't get that very often.
Yeah, most times, it's taken by somebody else. It's completely changed from the original vision.
We're seeing it more and more, especially in TV with studios like FX, and then we're seeing that actually with Fox too, like letting Deadpool do its thing, and that was successful. Letting Logan do its thing, and that was successful. So the more of these dominoes fall down for really entertaining stuff being successful, I think the better. And I think that goes with Disney too. I think Disney's taking a step back and wondering if they should have, maybe shoulda, coulda, woulda left Chris Miller and Phil Lord in as directors for Solo and made it more interesting, because it's not doing as well as they thought it would. So if the one thing that people take away is get weirder, get more interesting, especially with comic book stuff, then I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, speaking of that, you brought up Venom.
Yeah.
That we do have a release date, obviously October 5th, 2018. We've seen the trailers, and actually the trailers make me way more intrigued for the movie than I was originally. It looks like it could be actually pretty good. And it's a dark version. We do know a little bit about already possibly the spin-off or a possible villain for the next movie, because Woody Harrelson is cast in this, and the rumor right now is that he is most likely going to be eventually turning into Carnage, which is, if you don't know, Venom. I'll try to briefly explain it. There's the alien that. What do you call it? I'm trying to think how to explain
symbiote.
Venom.
The symbiote.
Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. The alien symbiote that bonds with Tom Hardy becomes Venom, and they can either be good or evil. It just kind of depends on what mood.
It's got a dark streak, people. But it depends on the host as to how it's manifested.
Carnage is like that, only Carnage is just pure evil.
Super evil, yeah.
So Carnage would be possibly Woody Harrelson playing him. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and Woody Harrelson, to give him credit, he's been doing great stuff lately, and he was good in Solo. I would love to see him in a darker role as well. It'd be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of Woody Harrelson out there. So I
he's coming out with
that's pretty good.
Zombieland too.
I think that's pretty good. All right.
Yeah, speaking of villains, though.
Yes.
The Batman movie, which may or may not come out and may or may not happen.
Yeah.
We got some news on their villain, or sort of maybe news.
We did. Although, really quick before that, this was breaking news right before we went on air.
Okay.
Silver and Black, which was going to be another part of this Venom Spider-Man spin-off world, it no longer has a release date. They pulled it from the cards. So Silver Sable and Black Cat is now pushed way back into development. Also, Jason Momoa no longer going to be playing the Crow.
Yeah.
So that one's also done.
God. How the Crow, it just seems so cursed from the very first movie with the real curse. As far as
Brandon Lee dying.
It's just, let's just stop with the Crow. It's over.
Yeah,
like this was the last breath.
Ryan's calling it.
Well, it was the last breath. Jason Momoa was going to do it, and they finally had a director down, and it was really taking shape. And now they both drop out. It's over.
Yep. So The Crow now going back into production as well. But let's get to the villain side you were talking about for the future Batman standalone movie, which as of right now, we don't even know if Ben Affleck's going to be playing Batman again.
Yeah, we know that Jeremy Irons is coming back, apparently, but we don't know if Ben Affleck's coming back.
Yeah.
He's been so wishy-washy on whether he even wants to do it. He was originally supposed to direct, for those who don't know, and I think even write the script, for those who don't know. He knows how to write. He wrote Argo, that could have been cool, but now it's not. We have Matt Reeves in the directing role, and now we might be getting the Penguin as the bad guy
back, which I like the idea of the Penguin coming back.
Well, he's the only one that hasn't been used recently.
Yeah,
for one thing.
So Mr. Freeze,
it makes sense. Well, yeah, that's true. I think Mr. Freeze is over forever after Schwarzenegger's
out
ruination of that entire concept. One of the worst movies ever made. So yeah,
it's pretty bad.
I don't see Freeze coming.
This one's on ice.
Yeah.
But the Penguin, I think that would be a great character to see back.
And this is just a rumor. Justin Kroll from Variety says, take this with a grain of salt as things are constantly changing, but I'm hearing the Penguin is possibly the choice to play the main villain.
You do have the Penguin on Gotham. Penguin's there.
Yeah, I think he's one of the favorites on Gotham, Cobblepot. So.
Oh, I love that character of the Penguin.
Yeah, and we've even had rumors of Nick Kroll wanting to play, or not Nick Kroll, Nick Frost, wanting to play it, who is from Hot Fuzz.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know if that would work.
I don't know how
I've only seen him in comedy, but that's a very out there rumor, but there's
That's
just been people talking about Nick Frost playing the Penguin. Or maybe it was just him saying he wants to.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is all very much in rumor land right now.
Well, there we go. So possibly the Penguin being the villain on the next movie. We got a few other things to cover here for some big trailers from the week, or at least things that we're seeing a lot of push about online. If you went and saw Solo, you probably saw a trailer for
Die Hard
19.
7.
Or, excuse me, I mean Skyscraper.
Also known as Skyscraper.
Skyscraper, a movie that's going to be coming out. It stars The Rock.
I'll watch the hell out of that movie. It's going to be hilarious and fun.
Because The Rock can put out anything and still make millions of dollars.
Yeah, it'll just be fun, though, and good somehow. I mean, maybe it'll even be terrible, but it'll be good.
You clearly did not watch San Andreas.
I did not see San Andreas.
Because that is one of the worst movies I have ever seen made.
I keep hearing different sides of that coin. Like it's campy and terrible, but also fun.
Lots of pretty people in it.
Yeah, that's Yeah, maybe that's the thing I keep hearing as well. Yeah,
but
very attractive
people. It's bad. Man, it's bad. But Skyscraper is coming out on July 13th. It stars The Rock, and stuff goes wrong. He saves his family from a terrorist.
Or does he?
Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the one movie where he doesn't save everybody. They all die. That's
and The Rock is killed. He just falls off the building.
Falls off the building.
And that's
Boop.
the end. And it just goes, dang.
That would be awesome if that's what they did.
Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted somebody to do the total flip third act ending, just exactly what you didn't think was going to happen, and it's terrible. And then the credits roll.
A crazy Eastern European bad guy who just stands there and he's like rich. And he's like, yep, living the life.
We win. Still never happened. It still never happened, but I really wanted to.
I warned you.
I warned you. I think we should pitch that because, like, you know, if again, going back to this creative thing, if Deadpool can work, if Logan can work, why can't we just do that?
Yeah.
Just once.
Okay.
With $200 million.
Yes, that would be good. Yeah.
It's not that much money.
Kieran is saying Nev Campbell is back. That's true. Nev Campbell is in the movie as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like a good, little Nev Campbell every now and then.
I thought she was retired.
No, she's back. I believe she's the wife.
All right.
Yeah, I think. No spoilers, but the trailer's there. A couple other things coming out. Disney is also continuing on with their live action remakes of virtually everything. Everything you've ever seen from Disney is probably going to become a live action, including Christopher Robin. Yes, Winnie the Pooh's cohort. Only now Christopher Robin is old. He's played by Ewan McGregor. He's forgotten about the magic. And then Winnie the Pooh shows up, and he's got to go back into the Winnie the Pooh world. And then Winnie the Pooh's got to save him.
I mean, Paddington worked.
How many times can I say Winnie the Pooh?
I figured they said okay, Paddington worked. We have our own talking bear. Let's figure this out. And then they, or maybe they're just going through the catalog.
I think they're going through
one by one.
Yeah.
But speaking of live action remakes. There's another Jungle Book movie coming out, and if for those who haven't seen the trailer, it looks really weird. The monsters, I guess animals, look really stylized, but in a very odd way. This is Andy Serkis's sort of major debut. He's directed one or two things before.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting
this one's not from Disney.
Right.
It's called Mowgli.
It's the other side of the coin because they made Jungle Book, and then this was already in production. It's one of those deals.
Right, and based on the original books from late 1800s, early 1900s. And so, this is the very, very dark version of the Jungle Book. It looks pretty good.
It's a great cast. I just, especially the wolf, he looks really weird. I don't know. Yeah. It's an interesting idea. They went with very stylized characters, whereas the Jungle Book, and maybe it's because of the Jungle Book, I don't know where those productions lined up, because the Jungle Book went very realistic.
Yeah.
All the animals.
I didn't see the
I've only seen the trailers, but all of the animals look extremely realistic. But we just went to a cat preserve where they've got all these wildcats, like tigers, like
gotcha,
Royal Bengal tiger, and all this crazy stuff.
Okay,
but I'm telling you, they don't look like that. The trailer is like,
sir, I have been to a cat preserve, and that does not look anything like the tiger I saw.
By the way, I highly recommend the cat preserve. We'll talk about that later. It's pretty great. Preserve? It's on the way to the Redwoods. Don't worry about it.
It's Wildlife Safari?
No.
Okay.
It's a different one.
Oh,
but it's awesome. Yeah.
You've probably never heard of it.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. It's pretty cool.
All right, other than cat preserves, we have a couple more things to talk about.
I'll keep talking about it.
I know you will. Don't get them started on cat preserves, man.
I've got pictures. I'll just show them on screen.
We'll circle back around to Top Gun 2 in the 80s movies we want to see remade. We do have another movie that we've got a trailer for called Sister Brothers.
Okay.
And it is from French director Jacques Audiard, but it stars John C. Reilly, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jake Gyllenhaal. It's a Western. It's actually set in Oregon, I believe around pre-Civil War Oregon. And Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly are brothers, and they're also basically hitmen. And they're sent to go hunt down this prospector. And the one prospector turns out he's got a way to find gold in the river. This is all told in the trailer. He's got a formula that'll highlight gold nuggets in the river. And then
maybe we shouldn't kill this guy.
Maybe they shouldn't kill this guy. Jake Gyllenhaal plays a weird prospector. This is a movie that I will definitely watch.
Yeah,
it's right up my alley.
I love John C. Reilly. I like all of these actors.
Yeah,
they're all fantastic.
It looks pretty entertaining, and so that's when I think it's going to be pretty good.
Is this a theater movie for Greg, or is this beer theater?
It's a beer theater.
Yeah,
this would be a beer theater.
Cusping on beer theater.
It's cusping on it. I mean, it's really hard to get me in there, but
yeah, it's true.
I mean, that's cusping on a beer theater movie.
All right, I can see that.
Yeah, I might be down with it. And that's September 19th is when that will be out. Let's see. I feel like I have to do this finally just because talking about remakes of movies, in case you didn't know, Robin Hood is getting another one. I don't believe we've talked about this yet, that Robin Hood is back once again. And
they need to stop.
With our guy from The Spawn, Jamie Foxx, also in this one. Taron Egerton is going to be playing Robin Hood. Guess who's playing the Sheriff of Nottingham?
I don't know.
The number one villain for everything.
Oh, your boy.
Who has been... Nobody can
from Rogue One?
Yes. Nobody can play a villain anywhere anymore.
Ben Mendelsohn, thank you.
Unless it's Ben Mendelsohn. Okay. Ben Mendelsohn plays the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
He's just
It'll probably be
leaning right into that role, isn't he?
Probably be great at it.
Yeah, okay.
So Robin Hood, November 21st, 2018, you'll get that.
Yeah, they need to stop making Robin Hoods, and they need to stop making... Arthur movies. Like, just stop it. It's not working.
Yeah.
Stop making King Arthur movies and stop making Robin Hood movies. We have enough.
Yep.
That's
all
my take.
Out.
We are good for another 50 years.
50
and then
years.
You can come back.
All right.
Put in a 50-year prohibition.
Put a moratorium on them.
Yeah, moratorium. That's the one I was looking for.
Allowed. All right.
Exactly.
I'll do a quick between the cracks just before. I want to get back to the 80s movies though, but quick between the cracks, and that's kind of our segment where we highlight a movie or a television series that we think maybe got a little overlooked,
slipped past you,
you didn't notice it, and this was kind of a brief flash in the pan, and it's a movie called A Futile and Stupid Gesture. It's on Netflix. Right. I ignored it because honestly I thought maybe that's one I'll watch someday, but doesn't look that interesting to me. I was wrong. And it's a biographical comedy. It's based on a book by Josh Karp, and it's about this guy, Doug Kenny. Will Forte plays Doug Kenny. And if you didn't know, Doug Kenny was one of the co-founders of National Lampoon, which is Caddyshack,
right?
Which is...
originally a magazine, and then they got into movie production, and did all those classics.
Yeah, National Lampoon was the magazine at first.
Vacation series, of course.
Yes, all of those. And it's really, really a fantastic movie. Just because it tells the story. I mean, I won't say it's going to be groundbreaking,
right?
But it tells the story of all of these celebrities and the origins of so much comedy that we watch and where it all came from. And this guy, Doug Kenny, was kind of groundbreaking on it.
A legend, yeah.
Yeah, he's also a complete train wreck. So that's...
Yeah, you knew that stuff around there was like, drinking in the office is fine. And,
it's a lot more than that. It was full on 70s.
You could tell they were like, having a lot of fun. But I like, David Wayne...
Terrible with women, terrible with everybody, yeah.
David Wayne is the director, and he's something of an underground comedy legend. For those who don't know him, he works with Michael Ian Black and, the guys from Summer Camp... What am I thinking?
I'm sorry.
The summer camp movies on Netflix. They redid the series.
Oh, The State?
Wet Hot American Summer. The State? You just saying the stuff now?
No, those are the guys from The State.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Wet Hot American Summer, though, yes.
Okay. Well, that fizzled. But anyway, the movie's good. You can check it out on Netflix. It's a good watch. It's interesting. All right, let's circle back around to our first topic before we wrap up.
I think my brain is broken this week.
Top Gun 2. Obviously, the July 12th, 2019. So really just a little over a year away. They have started production on it. Again, in case you didn't know, Maverick is back. Tom Cruise is back. Maybe Val Kilmer in some capacity. Maybe they're bringing back other people. It's going to be Tom Cruise working somehow with the upshot of unmanned drones, and we're going to guess that, Tom Cruise has to come back and save the day. But what other 80s movie would you like to see remade? That was our question.
That was our question.
I have my E.T. 2, or maybe an E.T. prequel. I still think that one would be good. Very dark. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That would be a good one.
Wow.
I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
How would they do that?
I don't know. You can just bring them all. They're cartoons. They don't age.
Yeah, they're just coming back. Someone else comes back from a modern. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it would be entertaining.
Why has that not been done yet?
I don't know. But keep it cartoons. Don't digitally.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean
don't
actually use the same tech that they used, or at least if you're gonna do CG, make it look like the original tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great idea.
See, there we
go. Look
at
this guy over here.
Boom.
Okay, you're back in. ET2 was a bomb, but you're back in.
Keelan wants a Clubber Lang movie. That might be pretty good, actually. I would probably watch a Clubber Lang movie.
I don't know what that is.
Clubber Lang's Mr. T and Rocky.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Backstory of Clubber
Lang. Reference. Okay.
Yeah, that's going way back.
Yeah.
Right? I have that right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have that right.
Nicely done.
Well, anyway, that's where we're at. So let us know what movie you think from the 80s needs to come back, because they're probably all going to come back. That's just the way it's all working right now. Leave it a comment on our videos, but the main thing is subscribe to this podcast between the streams. Wherever you're getting your podcast, just hit that subscribe button. Comes out once a week. We do an earlier time now on Fridays at noon Pacific time to make sure you get the podcast right out. It goes up really shortly after we broadcast these shows, and we really appreciate everybody who tunes in every week. It's a lot of fun. And send us emails, podcast@digitaltrends.com. Some dude apparently owes us $1,000 who said if we would say his name. I'm expecting that.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to track that down.
But also, it's the internet. We're going to find anybody on the internet. But also, send us your suggestions. What movies, television series, whatever it is that you think we should be watching, or you want to get out there. You have a favorite one that maybe not enough people are watching. You're worried maybe it'll get canceled. Tell us about it, and we'll talk about it on here. And clearly, we will save it from being canceled.
So yeah, we saved The Expanse already.
Remember when we did that? We will take credit for that.
That was a good job.
So that's all that right here, so you can thank us later. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. We will be back next Friday with another episode.